Welcome to This Explainer. Right out of the gate today, we're diving straight into a grim, dark, gothic fable drawn directly from our sources. We're looking at a graphic novel-style tale that weaves together social rebellion, cosmic horror, and the literal shattering of human morality. It's a story where our most rigid societal structures are tested by forces way, way older than time itself. It is a thrilling, deeply philosophical journey, and honestly, I am so excited to unpack this whole shebang with you. Let's get right into it. So think about this terrifying question for a second. What actually happens when the architectural walls of human morality just begin to melt? Like, are the social structures we build meant to protect us? Or are they in reality an iron cage designed to lock out the truth? When the absolute certainty of all our rules and laws melts away, what's actually left standing? To figure that out, we've got to look at the very foundation of the society in this fable. And that starts with the High Cathedral. Now, the sources don't just define this as some physical building made of cold stone. No, it's actually the manifestation of the superego itself. Think of it as a psychic fortress. It's literally an iron cage of slave morality built for one very specific purpose, and that is to stop the human soul from experiencing the terrifying, unmediated divine. It is, quite literally, a monument to death designed to shield humanity from primeval chaos. Okay, so the absolute crucial takeaway here is the rigid, unyielding division between these two worlds. On one hand, you have the artificial safety of the world of arrangements. This is the realm of approved civic hours, transactional logic, and a currency of total obedience. But lurking right outside is the Dionysian night. And that side is defined by biological plagues, the raw, unmediated divine, and the unlegislated night. The thick walls of the cathedral? They're just there to muffle the terrifying music of that outside source. And tucked safely inside this fortress sit what the sources call the last men. We're talking lords, ministers, and merchants, all clinging desperately to their great dining hall. They sit around sipping their wine of consequence and wearing their absolute certainty like a shroud. But here's the catch. This society is entirely stagnant, and they become completely paralyzed when a biological plague, in the form of a catastrophic rat infestation, sweeps through Hamelin. Their neat little theology and institutions, they simply cannot classify or contain it. Enter the mysterious Piper. Right in the middle of all this mighty consternation, he just shows up. He's wearing this queer coat, half yellow, half red, with eyes like tiny pins, and he offers the paralyzed town leadership what he calls a professional bargain. He'll rid them of this plague using a secret charm, and the price for this miracle? Exactly 1,000 guilders. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the Piper's true nature. The town, completely blinded by their rigid, transactional logic, just thinks they've hired a vermin exterminator. But, as our sources reveal, he's so much more than that. He is a supernatural debt collector. He is the shadow unleashed, existing totally outside the community's social structure. He's literally using their own legal system against them to collect a spiritual currency they don't even realize they owe. Which leads us right into Section 8, the dialogue of cosmic agents. The Piper's arrival is the ultimate catalyst here. It drives a jester, who is just a low parasite of the court, to scale the highest stone spine of the High Cathedral just to escape the iron cage, and pulsing right above him is the great star Abraxas. Now, Abraxas declares itself the monster of energy. It operates with this terrifying, precise impartiality, telling the jester flat out that it doesn't honor the high priest or his approved civic hours. To this indifferent cosmic horror, the entire cathedral is nothing but a footstool for its light. And from the dark depths below, the Piper answers him. He says, "Listen to the Dionysian music of the source vibrating through the masonry." He reveals that his music actually is a vibrating biological plague that's dismantling that iron cage. All the town's precious laws and social structures, to the Piper, those are just strings he plucks to completely shatter their world and lead them out into the unlegislated night. Then, the great star commands the jester to look into its mirror. It demands that he shed his human skin, the skin that absolutely reeks of the great dining hall and its wine of consequence. Abraxas is challenging him, demanding that he become a dancing star himself and see the world as it truly is. Just a monster of energy rushing together, totally devoid of human logic, where only the final effect matters. The Piper pushes the jester even further into the abyss. He tells him that his climb up the cathedral wasn't just a physical act, it was a literal trespass against the entire theological architecture of the mind. You see, The vibration of the source is far older than human theology. The piper, acting as the ultimate catalyst to break the social contract, is basically urging the jester to just let go, to let the Dionysian music take the rest of his soul. Okay, let's look at this terrifying transformation. Caught right in the middle of these two agents of the cosmic self, the jester enters a state of absolute what, or total frenzy. And it happens in three distinct steps. First, the complete dissolution of his human identity. Then his metamorphosis into the shadow unleashed. And finally, a transcendental leap. We are literally watching him evolve from a societal parasite into a true Faustian striver. The metamorphosis is intense. His human identity, which was completely forged in that safe little world of arrangements, just shatters under the star's precise impartiality. His body starts vibrating with the piper's Dionysian impulse. At this point, he's not even choosing to stand on the spire anymore. He is magnetically pulled by the music of the source, like iron filings to a magnet. He is driven utterly mad by the realization that the highest point of human society is identical with the lowest primeval chaos. Let's move to the climax of this whole ordeal. In the spirit of the depths, there is no logic. There is only effect. That rigid architecture of society, it's not a cage for the jester anymore. It's become a launching pad. Consumed by an evolutionary hunger, he breaks his wager with the king. Just a speck of dust leaving the footstool, he screams into the nameless silence and launches himself from that monument to death, falling upward. Now imagine witnessing this final leap, not with human eyes, but from the cold, icy brilliance of the great star watching from above. From Abraxas's perspective, I shine upon the tyrant and the saint with the same precise impartiality. There's no tragedy here for the star. It simply watches the screaming parasite launch from the footstool, his social distinctions forever extinguished. From this cosmic vantage point, the jester is just absorbed into the pleroma, a realm where all human social structures and all concepts of good and evil simply cease to exist. So to wrap up this explainer, we really have to turn this grim Gothic fable back on ourselves. If the rigid structures, the laws, and the deep certainty that we rely on every single day are merely an illusion, just an iron cage waiting to melt, what supernatural debts are vibrating through the masonry of your own walls right now? When the piper finally comes to collect, will your fortress hold, or will you be pulled into the unlegislated night?